Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Once again, I just started out. If you like this content, please subscribe and like the video. So I was thinking about early retirement and what are you actually going to be retiring to? You know, I'm not the type to just sit on the beach and do nothing or sit on the couch and watch TV all day. Although sometimes that might be fun for a little bit. You need some sort of plan before you retire. I was talking to a older acquaintance of mine. He's 85, so substantially older than me, and he said he just recently retired. He's an attorney, and I'm sure he had plenty of money to retire long ago, and I think he was only working part-time, but still it made me think about, why are you still working, even at 85, part-time? And I think it comes down to probably because he enjoyed it, and just because you're retired doesn't mean you have to, not work. You could do some sort of side hustle or gig or something else that keeps you happy. So, that's what I was thinking about when you said that. I didn't delve any more than that. Or other times I would see a corporate executive that's, they have a boatload of money and it's like they must be like 75, 80 and they're still putting on a suit and tie and coming into the office. And I'm like, what are you doing? So it's got to be something else. But if that's what keeps you going and keeps you motivated and makes you happy, then more power to you. But I think for the most part, most people probably just want to stop working altogether in some sort of capacity. And if you're going to do that, you want a little bit more of a plan. I read some sort of stat years ago that said within like 2 years of retiring, people die, or something crazy like that. And I think it's because you had a certain identity that's wrapped up in your job of who you are. Like, I was an electrician, or I'm this type of person, and the job gives you that identity, and you're much more than that and that job role or title. So that's one thing to think about. Is a lot of people say they want to travel, they want to go fishing, golfing, take up a hobby of some sort. Maybe you can only do that for a certain amount of time. So it's really just trying to think a little bit ahead of what you want to retire to, and not just retire and be like, okay, now what? So not only are you planning financially for retiring, but also what are you going to do once you do retire? And if you're retiring and you still have you're married and you have a spouse and they're not working, how does that impact things that way? For myself, I'm really into photography, and I've shot so many photos over the years. I feel like I can be retired for years, and it would take me a long time just to even go over the photos I've ever shot, and create books out of them and things like that. So that's kind of like part of my plan. So I kind of have a pretty good idea of what I want to do. And of course with photography, you can just keep shooting, or you could do so many different things. So and I want to travel as well and other things like that. So whatever it is for you, just kind of think about that a little bit. Kind of start do those things now, before you even retire. I got into pickleball like a long time ago before it got super popular. I haven't done it in a while, but that's another thing. Like, what type of activity is going to keep you social? That could be a social activity. you go to a game and you play with random people and stuff like that. I think that's really good for especially older folks. It's an active sport, and you meet other people, things like that. Because if you're used to going to the office and having a social network at work, once you retire, that's going to be gone. Your work acquaintances, how many of them do you really see outside of work? So you kind of lose those work friendships, and you think you're going to communicate afterwards, but just from experience of other jobs, that rarely happens. Doesn't mean it can't, but so your network of friends can change. So these are all the type of things that once you retire, you might not have access to those same social networks, and you may want to think about finding friends with other things that you enjoy doing. Just keep in mind that it might not always be so easy to make friends, especially at an older age. So depending on your personality, I'm introverted, so it might be harder for me than somebody that could just strike up a conversation with somebody else. But I'm also good with just being by myself, so I don't necessarily have to be around other people. So you know yourself best, but kind of create a list of what do I enjoy doing, what have I been putting off for all this time that I still want to do, and start dabbling in that stuff now, so that when you do have more time after retiring, you have something to go right into. Could be decluttering your house, it could be fixing things. It's my dad doesn't sit still. He's older and he's always got to be doing something, and I'm like that too. I need to be somewhat productive. You definitely don't want to retire to a couch. So just some food for thought. Of course you have to financially be in a good place to retire and all the things, but I don't know if we all really think about the financial aspect of the retirement, but less about okay, now that you actually get there, now what does life look like then? I haven't experienced it myself, but I can imagine, okay, if right now I wasn't working, let's say if you're just on vacation for 2 weeks and you're not going anywhere, you're just at home, what does that look like? And extrapolate that out for a month, 2 months, 3 months, especially if you retire really early and your friends or colleagues are still working, just because you're retired doesn't mean everybody else is. Of course, if you retire 65, traditional, that might be a different story. But my goal is to retire at 55, so there might be less people out there that are that are retiring that early, if that's considered super early. Traditionally, it would be early. I'm not too hung up on the number of the age and stuff like that. It's when it makes more sense for you, that's when you should do it. So I don't know. You tell me, what are some of the hobbies, things you're looking forward to doing? Fishing, spending more time with family. Write down in the comments, what is it that you're looking forward to be doing once you retire? Because everybody's got different things that they enjoy doing, and everybody's situation is different. Like I said, I'm an older dad, so I'll have my kids to deal with even if I retire at 55, because they'll still be they'll be in elementary school. So again, it's different for everybody's situation, but I'm curious to find out what is it that you're looking forward to, and if you're not retired yet, like what do you have to do now to lay the foundation and the groundwork so that when you do retire, you can do those things that you want to do, and you're not trying to figure it out, then, like just do some planning now. So if you really like this content, please like the video, subscribe. It would help me out and keep me going, and see if it's worth continuing posting these videos. Really appreciate it. Thank you.